What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and I'm wearing this really special garment provided to me by tonight's co-host, our lovely Diara, who is all about Interfaith Awareness Week. And we're going to be meeting all kind of core team members, Diara's friends, who are going to share with us about Interfaith Awareness Week. And that includes Reverend Dr. Albert, Dr. Steve Albert. I think they might be related. And Autumn Hankinson is going to be with us. Welcome, Autumn. And in addition to all that we're going to learn about Interfaith Awareness Week, it's also Nuclear Prayer Day in honor of this being the time many, many years ago when the atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And we're really blessed to have with us, again, our beloved friend, Reverend Becky Suzik. This is, I believe, her 9th or 10th event that she's done in the last 24 hours or so, all about Nuclear Prayer Day. So send her lots of energetic caffeine, cosmic love, because we're really looking forward to hearing from her. And I believe that one of you is going to start us off with a prayer.
Becky. Oh, blessings, peace, and love all here. So grateful to gather in this extraordinary community, this circle of squares that we hold each week, twice a week. We're so grateful for this beloved community. I invite you all just to take some deep breaths, to feel yourself supported by your chair. Feel your feet upon the ground if you do. Just feel how all that we are upon is resting us upon Mother Earth. And feel that gratitude rising for the way that we hold within Mother Earth and for gravity that holds us in here as we travel so many thousand miles an hour. We're so grateful, Great Spirit, Creator, God, Mother, Father God. All of the names of the great mystery that you are, we're so grateful for each day that we are given with these opportunities to be love, to love ourselves, to love each other, to cultivate our relationship with each other and Mother Earth. We give gratitude for our earthly history. We give gratitude for the commemoration today of the 80th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima, and in a few days, the anniversary of Nagasaki. And the gratitude we express for that comes from all of the wisdom that we as humanity have learned from the most horrific crime that was perpetrated against humanity 80 years ago. We give gratitude for the teachings of love. We give gratitude for the ancestors and for the Hibakusha, the people who survived and the people who have come since the bombing of Japan. We are open to receive more wisdom that we can continue to learn how to love and to be with one another in peace, in harmony, in unity, and celebrating our diversity. In the name of love, we offer this prayer. May peace prevail on earth. Aho. Amen.
Thank you, Becky. We're going to go right to Omushar for a song.
Felt alone for so many years, held my head high to hide the pain. Nowhere to turn, so to myself again tune my heart to the mother. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. The time has come to wake my sleepy head and peel back the sheets of illusion. The time has come to lift my voice once more and sing the songs of the new world. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. Sing that one more time. We are one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. We are one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. The time has come. The time has come.
Gallery view and sending twinkles and love. And yes, we are one with all, which is very much what this show is all about. So as always, perfect opening song. And I'm going to pop the spotlight on our beloved Becky, who we've got to have a lot of Becky lately. A lot of people are getting a lot of Becky right now. There's a lot of joy fuel coming in. Becky, what would be good for us to know about Nuclear Prayer Day?
Well, Nuclear Prayer Day is today, August 6th. And it began and was born from a prayer that the Right Reverend William E. Swing of United Religions Initiative had come through him. And they used this prayer, the nuclear prayer, every time they gather in some of their meetings, particularly the meetings for the Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons, Cooperation Circle of United Religions Initiative. And what we have done for the last 4 years is we have offered programs globally and in Zoom that have brought people together, and we have presenced that prayer among all of the prayers that intend, that bless, that lift up the possibility of peace to prevail on earth, and that we together can make a world free of nuclear weapons safely. And so this day commemorates one of the most atrocious crimes against humanity with the bombing of Hiroshima. And so I have difficulty with the word anniversary because it often means a celebration. And of course, this is a commemoration. This is when I was in Japan and I was telling this to Dayara, I received this clear message that we have to find peace within ourselves, and Omashar articulates that too, and I'm hoping we can hear from Omashar as well in a few minutes. And having gone to Japan and having been at the ground zero of the worst crime against humanity, and seeing the beauty and the resiliency and the spirits, the deeply rooted spirituality of the Japanese people that I met, I was so inspired and uplifted, and it changed me significantly, and made me even more devoted, because I had for the last, since 2020, supported events in Zoom rooms around Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Nuclear Prayer Day, and had never actually been to Japan until last year. And having gone there in Molecule, opened even more to an understanding that this wasn't just a crime against our Japanese relatives, it was a crime against ourselves. You know, these bombs are crimes in existence because they could possibly do harm again. And so our vow, our commitment with this organization and many organizations, I think we had 26 different organizations supporting Nuclear Prayer Day this year, is that Nagasaki be the last time that the nuclear bomb is ever dropped. and that we can learn the lesson that was given to us and that we continue to learn over these last 80 years as we hear the stories of so many Hibakusha people who are the survivors and the children and the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren of people who lived through that horrendous, horrific ordeal. And so we commemorate, and I often get asked, what can I do towards building peace? And I sit with that every day in myself. And I know that one of the biggest lessons I alluded to before is cultivating inner peace and not responding, or if I respond in a way that's not peaceful, doing the work myself. We want to see peace outside of ourselves maybe more than anything. And yet, if we are not cultivating peace within ourselves, we won't have the collective humanity that we need in order to realize that. And so it's coming back into the moment. It's allowing the way we feel, like when I'm talking about the atrocities, that it's devastatingly sad, and that we allow those feelings and we let it be our weather in our body, that we let that emotion rise and then we let it go. And then we can move like a cloud moves over us. We can have the emotion move through us. And then we can clear ourselves of that so that we can be present for ourselves and present more to each other. So Nuclear Prayer Day to me is a very special day. I'm really grateful. And at this logo here, we designed last year. I think it says a lot right there. So.
And it's beautiful. I think you have a video to show.
Yes, I do. I have a video. And this video, actually I have two videos. I have the first video that I'm going to play is a longer video. And this is with some of the Star Sisters, Dot Maver, Fumi John Stewart, Monica Willard from United Religions Initiative, and a couple other people that are in this program. And it's going to honor a Global Silent Minute, and it'll all be explanatory. There's a really beautiful program that we put together that we shared today as part of Nuclear Prayer Day. So we invite you all to continue breathing with us and being with us as we experience this together. The beauty and the power of silence. As Dot Mavis says, the power of silence is greater than we know. And silence may be peace in our ears, right? But silence, there's so much that contains in that. And so we wish for the peace to rise in each of us as we watch this beautiful offering from so many of our beloveds.
Welcome, everyone, to the Global Silent Minute, dedicated to the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombs dropping on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I'm Dot Maver, co-founder of Global Silent Minute. The Global Silent Minute was inspired by the Big Ben Silent Minute that helped to end World War II. The Silent Minute strengthened the unity and cooperation with an unseen mighty army on the other side of the veil, who, through the action of silence, were able to assist to end the war. Although unseen, their impact was powerful. The Global Silent Minute is now helping to bring an end to all warring, to bring peace to humankind and all of life, as we unite our hearts across distance, both sides of the veil. The power of silence is greater than we know. We will use silence as action in sacred unity as we hold the intention of the healing of trauma and the healing of nations, both within and between, for global cooperation, peace, and freedom, as we pray for a world free of nuclear weapons, a world living in peace. and hold the shared intention, never again. Make Nagasaki the last. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you so much, Dot, for introducing us to the purpose and mission of the Global Silent Minute. I'm Fumi John Stewart, Executive Director of May Peace Prevail on Earth International. And I'm so honored to be here with our global community to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombs that fell on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I feel the eyes of the world focused, especially this year, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki as we contemplate the future of humankind and our dear planet. We must remember and learn from history. Hiroshima and Nagasaki has taught us about radical forgiveness, that even enemies who have past history of sorrow and pain together can together walk hand in hand on the path of harmony and cultivate good relations, as we have seen between the US and Japan. The atomic bombs also gave birth to a groundbreaking peace movement in Japan, which was started by Masahisa Goi, who, after the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, went into deep prayer and meditation to receive these words of prayer: may peace prevail on earth, explaining that Japan has an important mission to send a powerful message of peace out to the world. May peace prevail on earth. Today, I'm so happy to introduce one of our peace builders from Hiroshima, who is so happy to be able to share her message from Hiroshima to all of us on this 80th anniversary. So please welcome Miharu Otani from Hiroshima.
Hello everyone, my name is Miharu Otani, and I'm the representative of the World Peace Flag Ceremony in Hiroshima. I was born and raised here in Hiroshima, the very city where 80 years ago, one atomic bomb changed countless lives forever. But from this place of deep pain, a powerful prayer for peace was born, and it continues today. Now, standing in the city, I send you my heartfelt gratitude and love for your prayers and dedication to a nuclear-free world. Even though we may live far apart, I feel a deep connection with each of you because we share the same dream, a peaceful planet where every life is valued and protected. Nuclear Prayer Day is not just a remembrance, it's a commitment to honor the past, to raise our voices now, and to act for the future. Your prayers, your hearts, your hope, they mean so much. From Hiroshima, with deep respect and affection, I join you in prayer. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you so much.
It is a joy to welcome Reiko Nakanishi, founder of Esoteric Tokyo and representative for Global Silent Minute in Japan, who will share a beautiful story of what is happening in Nagasaki right now.
Thank you, Dot, for introduction. And I just want to share a beautiful story, what is happening in Nagasaki now. There is a very beautiful Urakami church. It was known as the largest church in Asia with twin bell towers before the atomic bombing. But the one tower and one bell was destroyed by atomic bombing. So only one bell was used for in Nagasaki for 80 years. But this year, the great donations by the Christian people in the United States recast and restored new bells after 80 years as a symbols of reunion of the will of peace and forgiveness. And this donation, the donation of the bell, was proposed by the James Noren, a university professor in the United States, whose his grandfather was a doctor involved in the Manhattan Project, and his reading of forgiveness made this project into the real, and this bell was delivered to Nagasaki in this May, and the reunion of the bell singing together will be scheduled in August 9th and during the memorial ceremony in Nagasaki.
Arigato, Reiko. So this is at the exact moment when the bomb
Yes.
dropped 80 years ago. The twin bells in that church will once again sound.
Yes, as a symbol of forgiveness and reunion.
Beautiful. Thank you for bringing that to us.
Thank you so much, Reiko-san, for that touching story from the heart of Nagasaki to really help us to celebrate what is happening on this 80th anniversary. Thank you so much. And now, to add to this beautiful energy you brought in for us from Nagasaki, I'd like to ask Chizu Yamaguchi to add her message of peace from Nagasaki. Here is Chizu Yamaguchi.
皆様こんにちは。私は長崎 WPPC 実行委員会の代表を務めております山口千鶴と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you so much, Peace Reps from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Your words have brought us to this important time of praying together for a world free of nuclear weapons. I'm Monica Willard, and I have the honor of representing the United Religions Initiative at the United Nations. And I'm a founding member of our cooperation circle, Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons. And we use the prayer that was written by the founder of URI, who also founded Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons, the Right Reverend William E. Swing, to guide us in our actions, in our thoughts, in our work. And I have the pleasure of sharing this prayer with you because we know that our prayers make a difference. And we invite the prayers, the silence, the meditations from everyone to join us. And this is the nuclear prayer that I use daily. The beginning and the end are in your hands, O Creator of the universe. And in our hands you have placed the fate of this planet. We who are tested by having both creative and destructive power in our free will, turn to you in sober fear and intoxicating hope. We ask for your guidance and to share in your imagination in our deliberations about the use of nuclear weapons. Help us to lift the fog of atomic darkness that hovers so pervasively over our earth, your earth, so that soon all eyes may see life magnified by your pure light. Bless all of us who wait today for your presence and who dedicate ourselves to achieve your intended peace and rightful equilibrium on earth, in the name of all that is holy and all that is hoped. Amen.
Thank you so much, Monica, for that beautiful nuclear prayer. We will now observe a global silent minute dedicated to the 80th anniversary with our shared intention, never again. Make Nagasaki the last. Our Japanese brothers and sisters know the impact of the pain and suffering of nuclear weapons to all kingdoms of nature. 80 years ago today, that impact was experienced at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Today, we as a global community stand together with Japan in the healing power of the fire of love. The power of silence is greater than we know. Silence as action in sacred unity. Let us prepare to enter the silence together. We take a deep breath and activate the spirit of peace within our own hearts. And we unite our hearts across distance. And now we take another moment and we invite all those on the other side of the veil to cooperate with our intention for the spirit of peace to be invoked in all hearts, both sides of the veil, for this communion. When the Tibetan bowl sounds, we enter 1 minute of silence as action in sacred unity as we affirm, never again. Make Nagasaki the last. Arigato. May peace prevail on earth.
May peace prevail on earth. That beautiful prayer from Masahisa Goi of Japan that was born on this day 80 years ago. And so, Scott, I'm wondering if Dayara and Omisha would, I know we have a couple minutes left and I have another little video from Dayara to share, but wonder if they could both come up and we could talk a little bit. Omisha, brother. It was so beautiful to be with you in Japan in Molecule last year.
It was phenomenal for that reason of us being molecularly next to each other. However, visiting Japan, we all have the stereotypes of each country. Each country has a stereotype. And if you look through that lens, you're going to miss the picture 100%. I was never so welcomed, never been so welcomed and accepted and respected in a country anywhere. The level of love and respect that I felt as a foreigner, I didn't even notice it. But what really hit me is that you cannot see the atrocities and the aggression of war from afar. We went there and as a group with Unity Earth, and we saw firsthand knowledge of exactly what happened and how one moment destroyed so much. I cannot even go there on myself because at the time when I was there, I didn't know if I could contain the emotion that I was feeling. It was so absolutely horrific. I mean, really horrific. You wouldn't believe. I won't even mention it here, but maybe you can just feel through this expression. Yeah. And what I found was the resilience of the Japanese people and how they turned that terrible situation into a proclamation of peace for the whole world, so much so that every single year they pray for peace in every single country and every single nation and every nation which is not a nation as a result of the peace that came out of there. Japan taught me true humility. We went through a what they call a peace memorial. It's like the word it's like a celebratory word. It wasn't. It was a sobering experience. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to go in through it. I'm glad that I have, because it unearthed feelings in me that I didn't even know that I had deep in my being. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Japan, for helping me know true humility, and thank you to Japan for actually standing up and saying no more war ever again. I know there's some insane things happening in the world at the moment, but there is a ripple coming out from Japan every single breath of every single citizen in that country for peace. And so no matter what stereotypes any of us have, let's just wash them all away and just bring Japan and the people of that nation and their respect back into our hearts 100%. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, brother. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow. Really powerful. Wow. Wow. Well, I was grateful to be able to share the beautiful piece that Ed taught twice today with our sisters, and honoring Japan and Nagasaki. And I know Reverend Dayara's heart, we have so much in common. She and I connected directly a couple of weeks ago to talk about this extraordinary program tonight that combines two great loves of mine: May Peace Prevail on Earth, international expression of peace on earth, and also Interfaith Awareness Week, which I'm also part of, and Dayara will be introducing us to with Scott in a minute. And we were talking about Japan, and I shared with her the harrowing, the implosion that happened inside of me, that I said to her, it did not impact me on a cellular level. It impacted me on an atomic level. Like going there, I was so transformed isn't even the right word for me. It was like something just totally changed in me about being with our Japanese relatives and being there, a place that I visited and supported over these years, but to actually be there. And Reverend Dayara shared this beautiful thing that she was called to create out of reverence and love and light. And it was very moving, and she shared it from her heart with me to ask if I felt that it would be possible for us to share it, and that if it was, she didn't want to come from any place of ego. It was so beautiful, and she shared it with me, and I was so moved. And then we started talking about this very personal experience that I had in Japan. And so I'm going to pass it over to you, Dayara, before we share this beautiful offering that you have. And thank you all so much for being here. And perhaps at some point, Scott, we can all unmute after this piece, or at the end maybe, and all say, may peace prevail on earth 3 times, as we love to do as customary. So thank you so much, Dayara, and thank you for your beautiful heart.
You're so welcome, and thank you. This is amazing. I'm almost beyond words, and that doesn't happen often. And every time you talk about at the atomic level, my whole body responds, and knowing how we're all connected, it just amazes me. And the fact that this video even was created it blows my mind. I had no idea about voices. I had no idea the magnitude of what you and all are bringing to the world to keep peace on earth. And as this video was being created in April, and the person helping me was bringing more of these images in, I didn't understand, and I it's not something I would normally do, and yet I knew it was bigger than me. It had to be. And when the video ended up being 3 minutes and 33 seconds, I knew it didn't belong to me. And when Monica Willard talks about, and Dot Maver talks about the other side of the veil, this came from the other side of the veil. This came from the galactics. And so I'm deeply honored to share it with you and the world. And while we're watching this, what we're doing is we're bringing in the negative and the positive. We're bringing in the horror and the joy, the faith and the reality of who we are as human beings. And so I ask everyone just to share love, to integrate, to use your particular magic to help accelerate this peace prayer through light language for Japan. Accept this video from the heart and soul of creation, from as we counterbalance the positive and negative narratives. And I am here today to present you with a gift called the light language of song. And in this experience together, we're going to activate your biochemical joy receptors, and we're going to use sound as a healing factor, because music is the medicine of the future. Acknowledging our own spirits, acknowledging each other's spirits, our spirit guides, our cosmic connectors, our galactic connectors, and we're calling in all that energy for this activation. Shivo misa Nicodemo, Shiva niso milati, Nila meito inamaso, Sheila Viva Mani Trito. sound to permeate.
Shita Veito Melo.
Allowing that sound to activate.
Meto
And allowing the silence to bathe you as well. And so it is. It's amazing grace.
Mitono Shitanami Iso Veina Meshikote no Shila Miso Vala.
May this film provide divine healing and proactive prayers for protection around our beautiful global world and beyond.
Let's go to gallery view and send some real appreciation to Diara for that beautiful, beautiful video, song, and just the pure expression from her heart. It's beautiful.
So this may be a good time to transition. And Becky, it's so amazing to have you as the heart fulcrum to go from this first portion to our next. And Scott, did you want to say something before we?
I want to say two things. First of all, thank you, Becky, for making this your 10th stop. You know, you're kind of the Santa Claus of, you know, Santa Claus like visits all the little children and we don't know how he does it in one night. Well, you're kind of like doing your own version of that.
Don't tell anyone, Scott, I'm a fairy, a real life one.
You are. And I actually want to let people know that Becky has a wonderful program that we can all support. You know, it's really important for us to support people like Becky. So I want to encourage everybody to go to joyfuel.org, joyfuel.org. And I love what she says, calling all the magic makers, space holders, and community weavers. It's a Joy Fuel Zoomaloo play shop. And there's all sorts of good things that she has there. And do what I did, become a patron. If you click that takes you to the Patreon page. And she periodically does videos and posts and all sorts of wonderful things. Of course, there's her most recent work, all about what she's doing right now with the commemoration events. So let's all support this wonderful, wonderful woman and her wonderful, wonderful work. And again, you can find it all. There's also a reminder, you know, we had her on last week, that she's starting this journey for women. I hope some of you have decided to participate in that. And again, all things Becky Suzik, you can find right here at her patreon.com/joyfuel. And
thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll see you all next week. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope so.
It's not far-fetched because on Friday, Becky will be presenting as part of the Interfaith Awareness Week. I believe it's Friday at 2 p.m. We'll be sharing that information with you later on in our show. So we're not done with you.
One other thing before we transition is I want to acknowledge Fumi, who wasn't able to join us. She has been on the show before. And possibly the greatest gift I've received in the last several years was when Fumi sent me a peace pole. This is a picture taken the day that my peace pole arrived. It arrived back when I had my house in Hidden Valley Lake. And you can see my delight at having my very own peace pole. And just last week, most of you know, I've moved into a new home here in Grass Valley. And when you come to visit me, the very first thing you'll see as you pull up my driveway is our peace pole. It's now in a very prominent place as you're approaching or as you come into the driveway. So, and we can all get peace poles, which is a wonderful thing.
I'll put the link in the chat there. It's
Put the link in the chat.
worldpeace.org. There are a couple other organizations, so make sure you get one from worldpeace.org, as that is the one that has planted over 200,000 peace poles, acupuncture points, pressing upon the earth. And I invite all of us to be a peace pole and to put a peace pole near you outside or in your studio or wherever, to bless your home with that beautiful message of peace.
Absolutely. So thank you, Fumi. Thank you for putting that in there. And with that, we will turn it over to Diara to introduce her friends.
Thank you. Thank you again, Becky. Thank you, Scott. Oh my, this is so exciting. So I'm going to gallery view for a minute so I can look at all my Awakening Word Global Peace Tribe friends and intermingled with our Point Interfaith Awareness friends. And I will bring them up to spotlight. We have the Reverend Dr. Steve Albert. We have his lovely wife, who's a powerhouse unto her own, the Reverend Dr. Abigail Albert. And also presenting for us and with us tonight is Autumn Hankinson. And you can see that I was envious of the Reverend Doctors, and luckily my name, Diara Deborah Robin Meck, goes with the Reverend title that I do hold, so I get to be a Reverend DR with you guys tonight. So what we're going to be doing is introducing Interfaith Awareness Week to you. And also, before we do that, we're going to be introducing Point, which is the Poway Interfaith team. I was blessed to find them in 2015 when I was doing my spiritual diversity and education program in the schools. And another friend of ours who's in the Zoom room came into the presentation and said, "You have to meet these people doing interfaith work." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And I didn't realize I was doing it. And so Reverend Sherry, who's in the room, and also Robert in the room, brought me into the fold, and we created an amazing event in 2017 that you'll hear about. And it's grown from that through the worldwide web of love. And with that, I'll let Steve continue to introduce, and then we'll be bringing back the rest of our guests.
Wow. I'm totally blown away, and I'm extremely happy to be able to say that we've had a peace pole in our front yard for over 20 years. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. It is absolutely amazing. I have learned over the years that there are no coincidences, there are no accidents, that things are supposed to be the way they become because of the way we think. And I'm willing to think peace. I'm willing to think that I'm not alone by myself, to look ahead and know that this world is going to be much, much better than sometimes we think it is. Let me give you just a little bit of history, and then you'll know a lot more about how Interfaith Awareness Week came to be. In 2004, Reverend Abigail and myself and a couple others brought together people who created the Poway Interfaith team. Poway Interfaith team was an area in San Diego, and it grew so much that it had to be beyond Poway. And so you'll hear it referred to as Point, the Poway Interfaith team. So that began when we first learned about interfaith. We thought we were the only ones that were doing interfaith work around the world. boy, were we naive. In 2008, we went to the North American Interfaith Networks conference. It was in San Francisco that year. And we met 100 people from Mexico, Canada, throughout the United States, doing the kind of interfaith work that we were doing. And we realized we're not alone. We're not alone, which is a point that I will bring up over and over and over again. Somebody at the end of that conference said to us, well, you really need to learn about the power element of world religions. What's that? And the next year, with Abigail and I always wanting to be in Australia, found out that the Parliament of World Religions was going to be in Melbourne, Australia, with 8,000 people wanting to learn about each other from 80 different faiths. Well, by the time we got home, we were just blown away. And we knew that we had to continue the interfaith work at a much larger level. And we were invited by NAIN, North American Interfaith Network, to put on an interfaith conference. That was in 2017. At that time, NAIN put on 3.5-day conferences in different cities throughout North America. Because of what we were developing in San Diego, we said we can't do it in 3.5 days. We've got to have at least an extra day. And there were activities that were happening before and after the conference that were totally incredible. We had 77 speakers. We went to different religious centers. We saw their establishment and everything. And we said, wow, this is the way it should be. And now we need to let other people know. Well, I'm the kind of person that says, I'm going to ask for something, not knowing that I could get it, but perhaps by asking, it will become. And so I went to the city mayors and city councils, and I said, would you be interested in being available within your city to talk about people that they have equal rights, that you honor all people, all religions, all cultures, all backgrounds? And 14 city mayors said yes. I was blown away. They sent us certificates. They said we were so wonderful and it was terrific. And then I became dumber. I said, gee, if the city could do it, maybe the state could do it. And I sent an email after the conference was over, which attracted, how many? It was like hundreds of people for 5 days, loving each other, dancing together, seeing each other in peace. And I said, this has got to be more. I sent the letter to Governor Brown of California, who sent back a proclamation letter saying Interfaith Awareness Week will now be a state holiday in the state of California. What did I do? Well, the word got around. The word got around, and United Religions Initiative came to us and said, we like what you're doing. Okay, and who are you? I was that dumb at the time. We have 111 locations around the world and we'd like to celebrate with you Interfaith Awareness Week. And from 2017, when we were local San Diego, then 2018 California, in 2019 we became global. And over again, things changed for us. Obviously, COVID made a big difference, and we weren't able to meet on ground somewhere. And so we turned everything into a Zoom event where you could be anywhere in the world and do a presentation that was open to the entire world. And that's what you're going to hear about after you find out from a beautiful, beautiful woman who happens to have my last name, who will tell you more about Point. Abigail, you're on.
Thank you. I thought Deborah was going to introduce me, but I'm very happy to introduce myself. My name is Reverend Dr. Abigail Albert. Just call me Abigail. I am so grateful to be here tonight. This has been so heartwarming. I love the fact that my dear friend Deborah, has blended us together with the acknowledgement of the history of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and this, like you say, I don't really want to call it an anniversary, but we're blending because we are coming together as one people on this globe, and I am so grateful to be here and be a part of it. I'm also the executive director of the Poway Interfaith team, which you will hear about in a history video in just a moment. I'm just grateful, Steve, you kind of gave the impetus to start about what Interfaith Awareness Week, and everyone will get to hear more about it in just a little bit. But then maybe you have some questions about who we are. Who is the Poway Interfaith team? And in just a minute, like I said, you will see a video of us, and it was taken in 2023. So, and it shares our beginnings, it shares the kinds of programs and events we've had over the years, and how we have really evolved as an interfaith group. And the voice that you will hear is Reverend Michelle Engels, who is our vice president. She was president at the time. And you also hear one of the speakers is Robert Enyart, who at the time was the treasurer, and now he is our president. So we change our roles and our leadership because we really want to have all faiths represented in the leadership role, and that we feel like being a good organization, we do that. We elect officers that of different faiths in our executive board. So we have members of Unification, which is the Heavenly Parent Holy Community. We have New Thought. We have the different denominations of Christianity. We have our Jewish friends, our Sikh friends, our Hindu friends, our Baha'i friends, and we have had all different faiths in that leadership role. And so everyone gets a voice. Everyone has a seat at our table. And so it happened, before we begin the video, I want to tell you a little bit more about how we actually, the beginning of the beginnings, right? You'll see some of the beginnings, but the very beginning happened in 2004. Steve and I were sitting reading a local paper, and all of a sudden we saw this article that said the Baha'is were planning a World Religion Day event. And I'm looking at Steve and he's looking at me, and I'm saying, what's a Baha'i? So we were curious enough, and we really wanted to know what this was all about. So we joined them, where they said, come join us at this restaurant and we'll talk about the event. So when we did, we realized we had just met our long lost family friends from the Baha'i faith. It was like a homecoming. We just loved these people and they loved us. And one of the Baha'is, Deidre Merrill, who later became our first president of Point, asked if I would be one of the speakers at the World Religion Day. And that was in January of 2005, and I was very happy to do that. Well, lo and behold, we had another World Religion Day in 2006. I was again asked to be a speaker, which I said I would love to do that. And it was at that time we realized that our audience had doubled. And we thought, you know, people are really interested in what the different faiths believe. And so Steve and I said, come on over to our center, our All Faith Center, and let's have a meeting. And let's see what we can do and where we can go with this. So we had our first meeting in 2006 in the spring at some point, and that became the very first Poway Interfaith Team group. That's our founding members right after that Baha'i World Religion Day event in 2006. So we're so grateful that we were curious enough to see what is a Baha'i, and that kind of took us on this interfaith path. And you will see the history, and Steve did a beautiful job of continuing it to the present day. So if you are ready, Deborah, if you could run that history video, that would be great.
The history of Poway Interfaith Team, also called Point. Our mission statement is to consort with followers of all religions in a spirit of friendliness and fellowship, to increase community awareness and understanding of different faith traditions, to stand with all faiths for human rights and justice. On January 15, 2006, the Baha'is of Poway, California, held an interfaith conference called World Religion Day. World Religion Day was initiated in 1950 by the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the United States, and it is often celebrated on the third Sunday of January. The day has been marked by hosting discussions, conferences, and other events which foster understanding and communication between the followers of all religions. Its purpose is to call attention to the harmony of spiritual principles and the oneness of the world's religions, and to emphasize that world religion is the motivating force for world unity. At the 2006 World Religion Day, the Baha'is brought together a panel of religious leaders from different faith groups in the community. Groups such as Baha'i, Buddhist, Sikh, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, New Thought, and Muslim. At the conclusion of the event, the speakers spoke together about the need to gather more regularly and agreed to meet to discuss it further. On Friday, February 17, 2006, at the All Faith Center in Poway, the group met to discuss ways they could promote interfaith understanding and awareness through education in the schools and community. They loosely formed the group as the Poway Interfaith Educators, then changed it to the Poway Interfaith Council, and later changed it again to the Poway Interfaith Team. Over the years, its activities and members spread throughout San Diego, and the group became referred to as Point. Their first project, to assemble 8 faith leaders from different faiths and open up an evening once a week where the community would be invited to gather and learn about each of the faiths. Each speaker had an hour, including offering a taste of their faith's ethnic food. This event became Point's yearly Interfaith Summer Nights. Interfaith Summer Nights in 2006 was held at the Community Church of Poway. The expectation was about 30 people a night, and over 60 to 80 came. It featured 8 different faith speakers over an 8-week period. It was open, free to the public, and there was fun, food, entertainment, and wisdom.
Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. Abigail Albert, and I am the Executive Director of the Poway Interfaith Team, lovingly known as Point. One of our very first events was called Interfaith Summer Nights, and this was a time where we invited people from different faiths come to speak about their faith traditions so that we could learn more about them and their beliefs. And what I began to realize, I would nudge my husband Steve and I said, I must be a Baha'i because I believe what they're saying. I must be Buddhist. I believe what they're saying. I believe what the Hindus are saying, what the Jewish rabbi is saying. I found out that there was such commonality in all the faith traditions. They all had the same values, the virtues, and the love of humankind and the compassion that they have. And I believed in all that too. And one of the most important things is the oneness of all humanity, which really was reflected in what they were saying. The ways in which we celebrate our faith, different faith traditions may be different. It could be in the way we believe in how we speak to God or Allah or Jesus or the God of your understanding, whether it's in our dress, the different ways we dress, or the way we pray, or even our rituals may be different. But there is a golden thread that runs through all traditions, and that's the thread of love. And to me, that is the most important thing of all.
Hi, I'm Rick Patton, first treasurer of Point. Our very first Interfaith Summer Nights event was in 2006. This educational and community event was held at the Community Church of Poway weekly. It highlighted speakers from many faith traditions to share their beliefs and values. It was very well attended. After one of these evenings, I was standing with Deirdre Merrill, our first president, and Abigail Albert, our secretary at the time, when a gentleman came up and looked at us and said, "You have to keep this interfaith education going. It is so important." He then handed me a bill and left. I looked down and realized it was $100. All three of us looked up to thank the man, but he was nowhere to be seen. An angel in disguise, obviously. I then said, I guess it's time to open a bank account.
In 2007, Point participated in Baha'i World Religion Day. Over 100 people came to learn about interfaith. There were 8 holy texts. Children from all faiths were involved, and we were inspired. In 2008, our bylaws were completed, and our nonprofit status was granted. Our logo was created, and our website was designed. We were official. In 2008, our programs expanded, and so did our friends. In August of 2008, we had the Interfaith Weekend experience. Later that year, we participated in Prayers for Peace. We also participated in the Interfaith celebration at the Unity Center, and again, we held Interfaith Summer Nights.
Hello, my name is Robert Enyart, and I'm the present treasurer of Point. This is my wife, Sidel, and she's been the past president of the Poway Interfaith team. And we are both members of the Unification Church founded by the Reverend and Mrs. Sun Myung Moon. When we first began our interaction with the Poway Interfaith team as an interfaith organization, we immediately became aware that this was a place that we could discuss and talk about various faiths without fear of any repercussions or being marginalized because our beliefs didn't necessarily line up with anybody else. And instead of criticizing each other, we embrace perspectives, and we actually marveled at how religions developed in different regions and in different ages and still have similar core values of morality, family, human value, and reverence towards our Creator. If you study the history of humankind, you'll find that the cultural spheres around the world developed around religions. Religion is a cornerstone of any society. It's the origin of the moral compass that guides our various governments through which we derive our laws for standards of behavior towards each other and hopefully to strengthen our families. I remember years ago, Reverend Moon challenged us. He said we could be an observer to history or we could be a participant. Now, every generation is a historical period, and we live in a nation where everybody's life matters. You are important, and I would invite you to see what we're all about and see if you discover what we have. We look forward to meeting you. God bless you and your family. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Point received national recognition when we joined North American Interfaith Network in 2008.
Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. Steve Albert. I'm one of the founders of the Poway Interfaith team. And when we started looking at all the wonderful different faiths that were around and how we were similar to them, we thought we were pretty much the only ones doing it. And then we found the North American Interfaith Network. And all of a sudden we found people all over North America who were doing the work we were doing. And then we were directed to the Parliament of World Religions. And at that conference in 2009, we found 8,000 people from 80 countries all over the world wanting people to learn about each other's faith. It was wonderful. It was incredible. And that's how we grew.
By the end of 2008 and into 2009, Point had more expansion, more programs, more faiths got involved with us, and we began more involvement with other interfaith groups. In November of 2008, at the Community Church of Poway, we held our first all-faith Thanksgiving service. In the July and August, we again had Interfaith Summer Nights, and in August, we sent some representatives to the North American Interfaith Network in Unity Village, Missouri. Our future is in good hands, and we are so blessed. For the first time in 2009, Point sent representatives to the Parliament of World Religions, which was held in Melbourne, Australia. 8,000 people attended from 80 faiths throughout the world. By 2011, we had kept growing. We were so inspired that we had 16 member communities and 2 friends of Point who had joined our interfaith team.
It all started for me with a personal invitation from Roberta from Community Church of Poway. Roberta heard about my interfaith work in advocating for justice for workers, and she invited me to the next Point meeting. I attended my first Point meeting in March of 2015 and immediately felt that I was among my people. At this meeting, it was the first time that the Point representatives had the proposal of being asked to sponsor a NAIN Connect conference. NAIN is the North American Interfaith Network, and the Connect conference is held every other year. I listened to the responses from folks who expressed both pride in being asked to organize such an important event, and those with hesitancy that they could do so in such a short time. I had just been on a planning team for a large conference, and I felt welcome to share my thoughts that 15 months was plenty of time to plan such an event, although I had never even heard of NAIN until that evening. That was it. I was all in from that point forward with Point. We did decide to offer to organize the NAIN Connect conference for 2017 instead of 2016 to give ourselves more time to plan. This time was well utilized. To this day, people from Canada, Mexico, and throughout the United States from NAIN share about their experiences and wonderful stories about the NAIN Connect conference in San Diego in 2017. We had wonderful keynote speakers, workshops, expert panels, and worship. The expeditions and experiences were some of my favorites, among also the wonderful food. The theme of the 2017 NAIN Connect conference was harmony and was held on the campus of UCSD the second week of August. This initiated the second week of August being declared Interfaith Awareness Week. Point is a local organization with global connections, influence, and friends throughout the globe.
In 2010, Point began to bring on the youth. We began with an interfaith dialogue as a senior project. There was a youth panel from 8 faith traditions sharing their experience in outreach, a walk to end genocide. All of these events shared the young adult perspective. Today, Point includes 18 faith-based communities, 3 organizations, 6 individual members, and 1 honorary member. Point continues to promote education and understanding of all religions and those spiritually based at every event. We welcome you to join and attend any or all future Point events.
Thank you, Abigail. What an amazing journey.
Really, really. I'm always amazed when I see that video. It's like, wow, we did so many things. And we're still doing.
Congratulations on all that you've done, and it's really beautiful to celebrate you. I actually have a quick, interesting story, and then we're going to go to Omashar for a song. But regarding Baha'i, way back in 1985, I went to England, and I was actually there to perform a wedding ceremony for a good friend of mine. And as fate would have it, she was very close friends with a woman named Lillian Carpenter, who was the wife of John Carpenter, who at the time was the dean of Westminster Abbey.
Wow.
He performed Charles and Diana's wedding ceremony. And Lillian took a liking to me, and we ended up having lunch a few times. And she shared with me that she was secretly a Baha'i. Now, mind you, this is the wife of, at the time, the most significant Protestant minister in the world, the head of the entire Church of England. And the wife was actually secretly Baha'i. So, and Lillian was very sweet. She even showed me where in Westminster Abbey, when her time would come, which of course it has, she would be laid to rest along with John. So I don't know if you knew that about Lillian or not, but now you do.
Thank you.
We are one big family.
And with no further ado, we're going to go to a very important part of our family, our beloved house musical artist, Omashar.
Deep breath. What do you see when you're alone? What do you feel when you are by yourself? How could it be that you are here? Isn't it strange the way things are? Look at the river flowing by. Look at the colors of the butterfly. How do you feel about your life? Isn't it strange the way things are? Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, the water's fine, I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. La da dum ba. Now that you see you're not alone, and there is no such thing as by yourself, there is a hand that's lifting you into the presence of yourself. Life is a tale that never ends. There is a purpose to each heart that beats. You are the river flowing by. You are the colors of the butterfly. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, the water's fine. I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. La da dum ba. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on and you say, the water's fine. I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. La da dum ba.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sharon. Thank you, everybody, for dancing. I love watching all of you move to the music. It's so beautiful. So thank you. And I turn back over to our co-hostess with the mostest, Reverend Diora.
Hi, thank you so much. I wanted to acknowledge, as some folks have in the chat, our stoles, or shoals or shawls. They're just amazing. And also, I put in the chat, we have a multi-faith calendar as well, that lists all the different holidays. And so as we're being fully inclusive, to use this multi-faith calendar to make sure that when we're planning events, we take into consideration all the different holidays and practices that may affect others. So next, I'm going to bring Abigail back up, and she to introduce our next guest, Autumn. And let's get you unmuted, Abigail, and let me find Autumn to spotlight.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now, right? Oh, well, I'm just so grateful to be able to introduce Autumn. As you heard from the video, that at the very end, we started to really want to bring in the youth, the young people, where we're doing more youth panels and youth activities. And so when Autumn came into our midst, we were so very grateful. And I think she was encouraged by our friend, Reverend Sharon Mateer from the community church, to seek us out and see what we're all about. Autumn grew up in Poway, and she's earned a bachelor's degree in social science at the San Diego State University. She's an educator who assists efforts at cultural and social change with her churches and interfaith groups. So it is my pleasure to introduce this wonderful lady who has been such a blessing to Point. She has been on almost every committee. She's got talent galore, and we are grateful to have her. So Autumn, it's all yours.
Hello. My poor laptop's been overheating a little bit, so that's why I have my camera off for a lot of this time. But now, hopefully, this laptop's doing well right now. Otherwise, I have my phone as a backup. So, hi, I'm Autumn. I'm a Christian with Community Church of Poway and St. Bartholomew's Episcopal Church. And I'm 24, and 1.5 of those years has been with Point. So how did I join Point? My church was having the outreach meeting, the Community Church of Poway, and they were saying, oh, we don't have a Point representative anymore. We don't know what we're gonna do. And I'd seen that point on the agenda just sitting there before, and I was now finally like, what's Point? And said, that's Poway Interfaith Team. They help build. I'm like, what is that? And said that they help build connections between faiths. And it's like, oh, that seems like that would be something I'd like to be involved with. And thankfully, I didn't lose Abigail's email in my spam folder because. So I could start with why I was interested in interfaith in the first place. I grew up with that mindset of, this is the way you've been taught, that you have to believe this way or else. And so that wasn't great for my mental health, especially when I started to have some doubts. It's like, okay, well, if I'm not following the one way, which one way is correct way? There's like 6,000. I remember Googling it one day. How many religions? And so that was not fun at all, trying to find that one way. And then eventually, very slowly, I realized that maybe that's not how the world works. Maybe everyone experiences the divine in different ways. Like because I always knew it didn't really make sense, the idea that all the cultures of the world, except mine, were lost. And so it was really helpful for me getting out of that mindset, starting to get out of that mindset. And so I wanted to get involved with Point, and my idea was I could help other people open up their minds this way as well. And so I've been involved with Point so far. Let's see, the Harmony Breakfast, I was reading the poem for that. I was helping with the Essence of Prayer spring event, helping plan that. Although I could only show up at the end for the cookies. Didn't plan it that way, and I was also able to, what else? Oh, like tabling at events, like our connection with law enforcement events, and now I'm, instead of just watching Interfaith Awareness Week, I get to help create it. And so I'm like editing the videos bit for that. And so everyone gets a snippet of our celebrations for inspiration. And so I think these events have helped so far because I hear from people after these events and they say, wow, I didn't think about, I didn't realize that faith is kind of similar to my faith. And I felt that too. Like when we have children dance or sing of these different groups, I felt that at this Thanksgiving event of, I used to think that these cultures were just lost and and they're just people. And I believe I went so long thinking that. So, I also have thoughts on something I've noticed with some churches and interfaith groups is, like we're speaking about, there's sometimes not a lot of younger people, and I was like, where are they? This has been great for me. So when other people want to join too, and so first, people were like, oh well, younger people. Or at first, I was thinking that younger people are busy, and that is true, oftentimes, but I don't think that's the whole reason of why some people might not get involved. Because a lot of us crave connection and purpose, and but a lot of us grew up in faith traditions like I did, where it's not so much about, because a lot of us are worried about the world. We want to have hope for the world, but then sometimes the religious group we grow up with and just ignores that, and our focus is less on having an individual spiritual connection and more about, do you believe this one thing? Or do you have the correct beliefs? Make sure you do, and make sure other people have those correct beliefs, and that's your life's purpose. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying something like that. And at one point, that is the most important thing in life, is to convert others, because you wouldn't want God mad at them for being wrong. So let's see. So the antidote to that would be, the opposite of these groups, congregations, religious groups, that help everyone, and that we know will help everyone. Am I running out of time?
We're getting close, but I'm wondering, Autumn, people want to hear more from you, and I know we had asked earlier, how can people reach you? And that's your name at Gmail. Very quickly, before we move on to Steve and talking about the Interfaith Awareness Week, what advice would you have for young people wanting to get more involved in the interfaith movements?
Yeah, so I with my congregations, I was starting these young adult fellowship groups, so people could connect with the younger generation. And also, in Ramona, city nearby, they even joined forces to have a youth group it's mostly teenagers. And also connecting with older people is very important. Like at Point, people have been very helpful and guiding and giving hope, which is, yeah, like the antidote to that hopelessness and one way. Oh, so how to get involved with interfaith groups? Well, I could have my email is Autumn Hankinson 4@gmail.com.
Thank you.
And so that's how I got involved with interfaith groups, was through these churches. But I also looked up like what are local interfaith groups. You could look them up on social media or and then sign up for their newsletter, maybe join their
Thank
their
you.
meeting time.
And one of the biggest takeaways I'm getting from your share tonight is empowerment of youth and spreading the word and continuing this work. And I love the multi-generational influence that we have tonight. And speaking of multi-generational, I'm going to bring up our other compadres. And thank you again, Autumn, so much. And I know we want to hear more from you, so we'll have to create something else. And now we're going to have Steve talk about Interfaith Awareness Week. And Abigail, if there's anything else you wanted to say to shift from this beautiful share from Autumn into this next and final piece of our program on Interfaith Awareness Week.
I do not have anything. I think that Steve will definitely create some excitement here about what's coming up next week. And I'm looking forward to having him tell everyone all the wonderful events. So go for it.
Okay. So what we've been talking about is how it began, but I think everybody that's on this program really wants to know, well, what are you going to do for me next week? Well, guess what? Next week starts 40 90-minute Zoom presentations from around the world. There are presentations from almost every faith you can name and some that you may not know the names of. The idea was to bring together as many people to look at peace, to look at joy, to talk about who they were, why they were, how you can learn about them, and how they can learn about you. And that is so important. I've put into the chat the link to the World Interfaith Network, and that is the arm that will have the program. You can go to the program, it's all free. We don't charge anybody for anything. You can listen to things that perhaps you know something about. You can listen to music. You can learn about things that you know nothing about. We've got dancing and praying and rituals from faiths, again, from all around the world. We've got some names that if I go through the program, and I think Deborah's going to scroll it for us, you're going to see, well, why don't we just do that? So we got 40 Zoom presentations in 7 days. That means starting at 12 o'clock on Sunday and going to Saturday night at 7:30, you're going to have the opportunity to do all of these things. And once again, it's all free and you'll enjoy them. We're talking about the opening celebration. And just like in the Olympics, when you have Greece being the opening celebration team, Point will come and do celebrations for inspiration. Temple of Understanding. We're going to have Wiccan, a priestess, doing telling you about it and the different rituals there. And I even get to do one in the middle of the afternoon. From three of my last books are all about the soul and how the soul within every person, no matter where they come from, gets through life, moves to the next, and moves through other lives after that. Deborah, who you know very well, will be talking about spiritual diversity and education. We're then going to get into the families. How do you bring in the families and have play dates in interfaith? There's all sorts of things about how do you integrate art and science. Those of you who don't know about Eckankar, you're going to find out that they have a path to God realization. There are so many things about caring for the earth from an Islamic perspective as well as from other. And then the Interfaith Coalition for Earth Justice that was created in Escondido, California by Yusef Miller. We're talking about Australia's going to be represented. And Father Brad Esterbrooks, the link will be there about the Catholicism and the unicity of Jesus. See if I can say that fine a few times. We've got a Buddhist monk who's going to be doing two of the presentations, one coming from Phoenix, Arizona, and the other of what he's doing himself. Many of you knew about Ubuntu. That is going to be another presentation. Deborah's going to be part of that one and also Scott. There's going to be, and you have to be there for this, if you don't go to anything else, 4 to 5:30 on Tuesday, an interfaith prayer service for healing. It comes out of Toronto, and there's going to be faith leaders from all different backgrounds. Can you see that this doesn't stop? You get a half-hour break in between each one. We're going to talk about restoring the balance, how you birth a new paradigm in the potency of darkness, and Sandy Hart will be talking about her new book. On and on we've got from Dr. Brian Caruana is going to talk about how the sacred scripture is more than just words. And I'd rather not say anything more because he's got some wonderful things to do. And then we are totally blessed, coming from Jerusalem, Rabbi David Rosen, he has been knighted by the Queen of England and the government of Italy for his role in helping to establish diplomatic relations between Israel and the Vatican. You have to be there for that. He's going to be interviewed by Ruth Brody Sharon, who I'll tell you about in a second. Mitchell Snow is going to be talking about interfaith community services, how you service people who do not have a religion and need your help. And then coming from Thailand, I noticed that there were some people online today from Thailand. There's going to be a beautiful day in Thailand coming from Carl and Noy Anthony. Just music and dancing and laughing and singing. All of that being followed by Manik Bujwala, who from the Zoroastrian faith, and some of you will say, Zoroastrian? Yes, I've heard of them. Well, they were perhaps one of the first faiths to put down on scripture what they believe. Lynn Fritz from Interfaith Shasta County is highlighting work that they're doing. Just incredible stuff. And we're only halfway through the week. Thursday, we've got programs coming from Interfaith Connections in Washington, D.C. Jacqueline Fuller, who does an incredible blog and paper. And then the Baha'is of Escondido in San Diego are going to talk about building America's future. Urgent needs, 4 essential features for interfaith today, coming from the Parliament. As we learned about the Parliament, they became loving of our programs. And then South Bend, Indiana. How many of you have been to South Bend, Indiana? How many hands? Nobody. Okay, you got to find out what they're doing with regard to interfaith and immigration work. Forgiveness. We're coming from the island of Hawaii. Absolutely aloha. It is wonderful. And they're going to be doing 2 presentations, one that Thursday afternoon, and then later on Friday. We talked about United Religions Initiative, and we've got one of the Global Council vice chairs talking about youth and global opportunities. If you're not tired yet, well, it's not over yet. Common Circles, we're talking about the Charter for Compassion. Many of you know about that. You're going to learn where it's going, what's going on with it. Again, in Hawaii. And then remember somebody's name, Reverend Becky. Yeah, she's on the program too, talking about indigenous and interfaith wisdom of peace. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is going to talk about the living God and how they do looking back in time and finding where your family has been. And then probably for one of the first times ever, a rabbi is going to do the Jewish Shabbat service on Friday night called the Gems of Judaism. And it's going to be on the same Zoom event that you can be part of that service. From Nigeria, we're going to have either 1 or 2 presentations, depending how they break that up, but it's going to be promoting interfaith harmony. Yolanda Nava is talking about how we can create a world that works for everyone. And the affiliated New Thought Network is going to be talking about new thought happening around the world. We're going to lead from the soul, all paths from the Old Paths Divinity School is going to talk about their seminary and even how you can get ordained there. I mentioned Ruth Brody Sharon, and most of you know that name. She is the most wonderful, incredible, talented lady who has created a musical, the Interfaith musical. And from that, she's going to be showing and playing and having some of our actors and actresses talk about Meet Me There. And to end up the 7 days of activity, we're going to be just inundated with by the Universal Peace Federation creating one human family under God through their music. So these are things you cannot, and you're saying, well, Steve, we want to get involved. Is it too late, or are there any other slots open? And I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, there are not. We have 40 presentations and 40 slots, 90 minutes each. But guess what? In February, we're going to be starting to reserve presentation slots for next year's Interfaith Awareness Week. And maybe some of you will be part of that. I'd like to end with one thing. When I was writing my first book in 1986, I wanted to have "Let There Be Peace on Earth," a song, in the back of the book. And I found out that Jill Jackson Miller was the person who wrote the words with her husband. And when I called her at her home in Beverly Hills, California, she said, "Steve, come on over, we'll have lunch." You know, and the one thing she said to me after we finished, probably the second or third time we were together, was, "The greatest problem in the world is that people believe they are alone." And I have come to believe, with all this interfaith work that we have been involved with since 2006, 20 years of learning, we are not alone. Thank you to all of you who have been on this program, for all of you who do your portion of helping others not feel alone. And I thank you for that. God bless.
Steve, thank you for the incredible hours that you've put into creating this. This is just amazing. And I so wanted to share this with our Global Peace Tribe, the Awakening World, and all those watching on Facebook and YouTube. And we're just so excited. Please do think about joining next year, and also come to as many as you can. As Steve said, we're going to present Ubuntu and Becky and a lot of our favorites. Also, another announcement about the stoles. I guess the link in the on the website's not working, but you can email myself or just reach anyone, and we'll help you get the stoles if you'd like that. So we're nearing to a close.
And these programs, you can find them on world-interfaith.com.
Yes, and we put that in the chat, as well as a copy of the menu. Thank you, Autumn. Excellent. I'll put it in again. And where's our fearless leader? Here, I'm playing with the spotlights.
Hello. Well, first of all, congratulations, 40 amazing programs, and I'm definitely planning on participating in a few, including, of course, Tiaras. And in a moment, I think Abigail is going to do a closing prayer for us. I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. This Saturday night, we've got another wonderful show planned. Reverend Jeffrey is going to bring his buddy Bud, who's also a reverend, who's going to talk all about very interesting perspective about divinity. And we are going to have Vivian Chauvet on. You know, Vivian has a brand new documentary all about her life that's premiering next week. And so I definitely wanted to include her. And it's going to be a pre-record. She wasn't available to be with us live, but I got to say, I had the most fascinating interview with her. We did the pre-record last night. She's extraordinary. She is just so interesting. And for anybody who doesn't know, Vivian is a legitimate Arcturian ambassador. She has full memory of who she is as a member of the Arcturian race up in the star system. And what she has to say, and I ask her big questions. I ask her about the future and alternate timelines and multidimensional reality, and her answers just resonated beautifully. And she's just a really, really cool and fascinating soul. So definitely make sure you join us on Saturday night for that very special program. And we're also going to have Tatiana Speed and her mother with us, providing a very wonderful and unique musical experience. And of course, our beloved Omashar, who is going to provide us with a closing song in a moment. But before that, let's go back to Dr. Abigail for a closing prayer.
So much. Well, let's just take a moment. Close our eyes if you are comfortable, or sit quietly, however is comfortable for you. Take a deep breath. Release it. Just know that we've been sharing divine energy tonight with each one of us. There is only one, and that is God, and God is living and reigning and moving in through each of us. Each of us has a part in this wonderful global earth. And we do keep declaring, may peace prevail on earth. And I know that it is, and it will, even for the eons of the future, because everyone here has a purpose. I'm so grateful that everyone was here, because we know we are part of that oneness that is creating something new and wonderful and loving and caring here on earth. We bring joy to the planet. We bring ourselves to the planet. God is moving through us, whatever name you wish to say. Talk about God, spirit, divine energy, divine mind, creator source, mother, father. We're all here, one, moving through this life together. And I know that as we are grateful for listening to the sharing of the World Peace Day with, honoring those people that gave their lives, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we know that we have learned that lesson. We are learning every single day. And so as we move forward into the next week with the interfaith events and activities and presentations, know that everyone has been touched by the blessing and the divinity of God. Ernest Holmes, New Thought leader, said, we are divinity in human form. And as we remember that, we can go forth and to do our part as divine beings here on earth, bringing peace, joy, happiness, love to everyone. Everyone you meet is God in form, and treat that person as God. So I say thank you, thank you, thank you again for allowing us to be here and to present. Thank you so much. And I say, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you very, very much. And going to bring up our presenters one last time, just for us to all say thank you. And Carol, who's one of our global peace drivers, who's been with us from the very beginning, actually just wrote that this was her favorite show of the year. And we do a lot of shows. So there you go. Oh, there's Becky. So thank you, everybody. God bless you for the wonderful work you're doing. Can we say Happy Nuclear Prayer Day? Bless this Nuclear Prayer Day. Bless us, that we may all create peace in our life. And just a reminder that peace does start with how we treat each other. and to create peace in the world, how can we be more loving towards ourselves and the people in our immediate orbit? That's where it all begins, and that's where we can make our greatest difference. So with that, I'm turning it over to my beloved brother, Mr. Omashar.
Walk this way again, so lay down all your gods. Your loving hearts will lead the way. The door is open. The wonderful and the new is waiting patiently. And take the step and you will see all you've been dreaming. Now is the time we've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages, knowing I'd be with you once again. You'll never be alone again. Please take my hand in yours. I love you just the way you are. You're my creation. The wonderful and the new is waiting patiently. So take a step and you will see all you've been dreaming. 'Cause now is the time we've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages, knowing I'd be with you once again. You'll never be alone again. Please take your hand in mine. I love you just the way you are. You're my creation. 'Cause now is the time we've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages, knowing I'd be with you once again. The wonderful and the new is waiting patiently. So take a step and you will see all you've been dreaming. Last time. Now is the time we've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages, knowing I'd be with you once again.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Omashar. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Let's all practice appreciation for different people, different faiths. Let's all practice peace in the world. Thank you, Desiree, for all that you contribute to every one of our shows. And of course, Diara, this was your big one. She's been talking to me about this show for months and months and months. 6 months ago, she's saying, now remember, August 6th, we've got to do a show. So we finally did it. Here it is. Thank you, Diara. And I look forward to hopefully seeing all of you on Saturday night. Becky, safe travels to the Midwest, and give my love to all of our friends there. And look forward to seeing all of you soon. Have a beautiful